Your challenge funnel or live event campaigns, i.e. your webinars, your workshop funnels, that kind of thing, they are leaking tens of thousands of dollars because of this one thing. Before we go any further, I just want to ask a quick question. Have you noticed a pattern in the high ticket coaching space right now? I'm talking Iman Gadzhi, Brez Scales, Jordan Lee, Dan Henry. What do all these guys have in common? And I've limited it to them for, there's many, many more. But it's that they're all running live event campaigns, but mainly challenge funnels, and they're printing millions off the back of them. But what about the mid-tier coaches who are in the space who don't really have the following of like the Iman Gadzis, the Brez Scales, who don't have the ad budgets? What are they doing? Well, they're seeing these big guys running these kinds of challenges and they're copying them, but their live events are flopping and they don't know why. But luckily for you, in this video, I'm going to break down what goes wrong in 99% of the coaches' challenges or live event funnels that I have noticed. And if you don't know me, my name's Lucas Graham. I'm the founder of Live Acquisition, and my main goal on this channel is to make sure that every single coach adds a challenge funnel to their current funnel stack. And everything that we do over here on this channel is talking about how we can help you print tens of thousands of dollars with challenges, obviously no income claims. And let's just get straight into the video. So let's look at the real problem. And here's what you need to understand before we go through the rest of this video. The problem isn't always what you're saying in your pitch. It's not always the outcomes that you're given. It's not always the bonuses that you're stacking or whatever it is that you're selling. It's simply what you're not saying before your pitch. And I know that sounds quite cliche or counterintuitive, whatever you want to say, but let me tell you a quick story first. So I was sat in a coffee shop the other day, right? And there was this guy in there, and I was trying not to eavesdrop, but he kind of made it impossible because he was the only other guy in there and he had his laptop at full volume and he was on a Zoom call, right? And the guy on the other end of the phone, he was pitching him. It sounded like some kind of investment or partnership, that kind of thing, right? And I catch different bits and pieces, stuff like 12-month timeline, upfront investment, and your network would be perfect for this. Obviously, the other guy on the phone was just trying to sell him something, right? And then the guy next to me, after he hears the pitch, he just simply says, "Yeah, man, I appreciate the offer, but I'm going to pass. I simply just don't have the bandwidth right now, and I'm just going to wait till next year and maybe we can move forward with this." And then they finish off the rest of the call. The guy on the other end of the phone, he tries to objection handle, but the guy who was sat next to me in this coffee shop, he would not budge, and he was adamant that this was a no. Obviously, this won't make much sense right now, but let's get into why I'm actually telling you this story. So the reason I was telling you this story was because this is exactly what happens on your challenges. You give all the value, you teach your methods, and maybe, just maybe, you even get the participants some results before you pitch. And that's enough to make you think that that's all you need to do in order to get a killer conversion rate, right? Fuck no. What you need to understand is that there's two types of people in the world. Number one, risk averse, and they're the ones who wait round for things to happen, like the guy in the coffee shop, right? And then there's risk tolerant, the ones that buy instantly. And risk tolerant people are everyone's favorite, but not everyone's going to be risk tolerant. And you're not tailoring your challenges to the risk averse people. So let's get into how we do this. So let's take a look at risk averse people on a whole, right? You can put the best offer in the world in front of someone who's risk averse, and they'll still somehow find a reason to say no. You see, that guy at the coffee shop, he didn't turn down the opportunity because it was a bad opportunity. He turned it down because that's who he is. Risk averse people don't suddenly become risk tolerant when you put a good offer in front of them. They just find new reasons to say no. And your challenge attendees think the same way. If you're not reshaping their identity between day one and the pitch, they'll show up to your pitch still believing that they're "I'll wait until next year" type of person. And those people don't invest in 10K coaching programs. But what you can do is change the risk averse people into risk tolerant people by doing these specific things. So let's look at the pre-frame system. But first, you must understand this. We all heard that a buying decision is made on emotion and then justified with logic later. And that is only partly true, right? Because they're also made on identity. Strong identity plus emotion equals bread. And to be honest, I should get that trademarked because I've never heard anyone else speak about this. So what you need to do is plant the seeds right throughout the training and all the value sections that make the participants question their identity so they become risk tolerant opposed to risk averse. And obviously, if you're watching this video, you probably don't know how to do that. So let me break down 6 examples and 6 anchor traits that you can use right throughout your full challenge. And you want to put these anchor traits in every single day. Anchor number 1 is specific characteristics. You want to tell stories that highlight what successful people in your world actually do. Give examples. Don't just do theory, give real examples. So something like, every client I work with who hit 50K months had one thing in common. They moved fast when they saw opportunity. Or you could change this to like, they invested when they saw opportunity. Give specific characteristics that winners typically have. Anchor number 2 is the identity traits. Make them see themselves as decisive, action-oriented, and growth-focused. An example of what you could see inside of the challenge is, there are 2 types of people in this room right now. The ones who implement what they learn, and the ones who collect information and do nothing with it. Obviously, you'd go into a lot more detail and kind of detail the actual consequences of what happens with the people who don't do anything with the information. But there's just an example, and it'll make you think about it. Anchor number 3 is ways to think. You want to reframe how they view investment, risk, and timing. Successful people don't wait for the perfect time. They create the perfect time by creating action. And yet again, this is just another simple example. Anchor number 4 is willingness to take risk. You want to normalize intelligent risk taking, making staying stuck feel more dangerous than moving. And you always want to do this. This is probably the most important one. In your whole challenge, you want to make it look like not purchasing your main offer is way more risky than actually purchasing it. So an example of this would be, the riskiest thing you can do is nothing. Every month you wait costs you money that you'll never get back. Talk about opportunity costs, first mover advantage. That kind of thing works really well in Anchor 4. Anchor 5 is the bias towards being richer. Frame wealth building as what smart people do, not desperate people. Rich people invest in solutions. Poor people try to figure everything out alone. And what you want to do here is paint out that finding everything out alone is a lot harder. It takes longer. You see worse results. Then when you introduce like your coaching offer or your solution, whatever it is, you can see you do it faster. You can see you get them better results. You can say it's easier. And that kind of stuff is the stuff that really makes your participants tick. And anchor number 6 is the ability to overcome fear. Show them that fear is normal, but action is what separates winners from losers. Every person who hits 100k months was terrified when they invested, but they just moved anyways. And it's so true, no matter how much money you have, you're always going to be scared when you make a big investment. But the action is what separates the winners from the losers. So that's exactly what you need to paint out inside of your challenge. And obviously, I could go a lot deeper than this. I'm saving that for my paying clients. In fact, if you do want to become one of my paying clients, and I can run a 3 to 5 day live challenge for you that generates at least 20 new high-ticket clients, or I work for completely free, there's a sales funnel in the description below. And I'm not going to hide from the fact that it's a sales funnel. It's there. It's a video of me explaining why you should work with me. And there's a calendar for you to find a time and book a slot. So go ahead and book in that calendar if you want 20 new high-ticket clients in the next 90 days. If not, if you found this video helpful, please just leave a like, a comment of what you want to see next, and do subscribe. And that's all from me for now. And I'll see you in the next video.